moments. I haven't read the novel yet, but I heard a lot of it's from Juno's point of view, and I want to get my hands on that.
Yeah.
Shows Mon Mothma, shows
Leia.
Bail Organa, Leia. I think
more of the Rebel Alliance forming and what they're doing at the time and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, this game is great, but all in all, I'm in it for the story. Yeah, I mean, I want more. I'll tell you what. Whoa!
All right. Well, moving on with the story, the clone or Starkiller, whoever he is, escapes from Kamino. He breaks out of his prison from Vader.
I think there's something to be said in the first game at the end. Cato talks to Juno, saying that for all of his darkness, there was one shining light that he had, and it was Juno.
Yeah.
In this game, Starkiller is being retrained or trained now by Vader to be a dark Sith, and the only thing stopping him, the one redeeming factor he has, is Juno. And it's the one thing he really latches on. I mean, you can say he's almost too upset with Juno in this game, but that's the one really thread he has that keeps him human and not just Vader's pawn.
Yeah, again, in the training room, there's multiple droids. Yeah. Some look like rebel soldiers,
and he can kill them with no mercy. But the one that looks like Juno,
yeah, there's one that just stands there, looks like Juno. Every time he tries to swing,
you can't do it.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like how it kind of mirrors the first game where just that one thing that Starkiller held on to was Juno, and now it's the one thing saving him from
turning the dark side, being a.
So it's nice to have that thread again.
So
yeah, I mean, he has to find Juno.
Yeah, he escapes from Kamino, and his whole goal is to find Juno and pursue her.
Like he says, he tells Yoda, he goes to Dagobah actually, to a cave to meditate, and he tells Yoda he'll pursue her across the galaxy. He has to, and I kind of feel like he did, except for the game was freaking short. We'll talk about that later.
He goes to what's the planet he goes to? Cato
Neimoidia. That's where the Neimoidians are from, and they are the guys, the Viceroy, most of the Viceroy, the two head guys from the prequel trilogy.
It's the planet that the Trade Federation is from.
Yeah. Well, he Vader tells him that's where Cato was, I believe.
Yeah, he goes there
to find
free
Cato.
him. He was supposed to go there to execute him originally.
Yeah.
But he went there to free him.
To find out where Juno is.
Yeah.
So that part of the game, especially when you get to the end of it, just with the boss battle, I think that's the toughest part of the game. I don't know. I had a heck of a time with that.
Cato Neimoidia?
Yeah.
I mean, I just hate being overwhelmed by different enemies.
Cool. I mean, I liked being in the floating city. I hated if I accidentally dashed and fell off and died.
Yeah.
That happened a few times. Like, on any platform, I always end up doing that. But, I mean, just the what was it, ATMPs? With the missiles, you'd have some of them guys and the acolytes and, all sorts of different enemies at the same time. And
that was cool. There was less enemies in this game, but they all had, instead of having 1,000 different enemies like they did in the first game, all do the same things. They have 100 different enemies do all different things, and you have to defeat them. Some you have to defeat with force powers, some you have to defeat with your lightsaber. And it was I thought that was pretty interesting.
And it never really felt like it was just I was breezing through them. So I mean, at certain points it was challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said. A lot of people say, "Oh, Starkiller, he just destroys everything he sees. He destroys Vader. He destroys Palpatine. He's too powerful." But it was never easy for Starkiller to get through this stuff. I mean, he just
and like we said earlier, he was there's trillions of Force users out there. He was he was the son of a Jedi. He's trained by the Chosen One to be a killer, to be an assassin. He has no other life. He's not like Emperor Vader who has. In essence, they have a life. They have to run this empire. It's probably stressful. Starkiller is trapped in the dungeon for 15, 20, well, not 20 years, obviously, for 10 to 15 years, just being trained constantly. It kind of reminds me of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just trained to be a killer.
I mean, he's just a weapon.
Yeah.
Is all he is. And whenever he meets Juno, he kind of has that. He's almost like a young boy then, because I mean. He's never seen a girl. He doesn't know how to react to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was watching actually some interviews last night, and Sam Witwer, he is the guy who plays the voice in the likeness of Starkiller. He was saying that people come up to him and say, "Hey, the story for the first game, the love story was kind of weak," and Sam Witwer, he says, "Hey, it wasn't a love story; it was a crush story. It was a story about how he got a crush. This wasn't a love story; it was a story how he met a girl for the first time." The first time he kissed a girl was at the very, very end of the game.
Yeah.
So he wasn't, it wasn't a love story, it was just a crush story.
It was the first girl he's met.
And
right?
he was in love with her, but it wasn't like a love story. It was just how he dealt with that crush, and how that crush, became how that crush became a love for him, and that changed him. Like Cato said, it was, among all his, like you said, Eric, among all his dark thoughts, there was one happy thought, and he held on to it to the very end. Or, the very end, if he wasn't a clone.
The end, question mark.
Yeah. So anyways, so basically, running through the Force Unleashed 2, where we leave off?
We're on kind of Neimoidia.
Yeah, we're just talking about Cato and Neimoidia, all the different enemy varieties.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool how they did that this time. It really felt like I didn't just have to use the same thing to kill these guys. You know what I mean? I didn't just have to use one Force line. I really had to think, like, all right, well, I have to use the Force for these guys. These guys are resistant to the Force, And it really made you change up your strategy, I think, in a good way, in a smart way. But
it's actually divided up pretty well, because like with the ATMPs, you had to deflect, or you had to use your grip.
Yeah.
And, it's not very often where you have to use like a grip to kill someone, or have to use deflect in order to kill an enemy.
Yeah.
And then you had other ones like the jump troopers where you had to use lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, was that fun.
Yeah, just watching them fly all over the place and stuff.
Yeah, fortunately, too, is shocking jump troopers with lightning and watching them fly around on control V's. It's one of the highlights. It's like highlight of my life. When I shock those guys and are flying around everywhere, I go, whoa! I love it. I want more. You know what I mean? There needs to be DLC where I'm in a room with these guys and I just shock them.
You shock them all.
And they just fly around everywhere. That'd be great. You know what I mean? But
I don't think anything was better though. There's been force powers they've added, but like my favorite thing to use was the freaking mind trick.
Mind trick, okay.
Yeah,
I would freaking mind trick these jump troopers, and they would shoot all the stormtroopers. They would shoot the ATMPs. They would shoot everybody, and everyone would be shooting each other. And I don't even have to do anything. I'm just sitting back hiding. Like I just sit back there, watch them all kill each other. When it wears off, I mind trick some more, and they all kill each other again. It's great.
That was definitely an awesome move. Put that, that in this game. We should.
I found myself forgetting about it half the time. I'm like, oh yeah, I should do this, and I just do that for like 10 minutes.
That's all you use, yeah.
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 I mean, one thing though, like I want to talk about is, this game there's things about it that I didn't like as much. Like, there was the enemies. There's more enemy variety. Like the type of enemies that there were.
Rather than the sheer number of enemies.
But I don't know. I would have rather them put more development time into it. And I would have rather had more enemies too. I felt like I kept running the same guys over and over again throughout the game. Honestly.
Yeah.
And another thing is
a lot of things did feel like they were getting a little bit repetitive.
Yeah.
And that has to do with the games. Like there's like there was less enemies, there were less locations, and there were less hours. Like this game was. I'll tell you right now, this game was it took me about 4.5 hours, 5 hours to complete, and I thought that was really disappointing.
It was about the same with me, and I even tried to play on the hardest difficulty I could in the
Yeah,
beginning.
we all bought the special edition, $80 too.
Yeah, we bought the collection edition, which was cool.
Yeah, I don't regret buying it. I don't regret buying it.
You got some extra crystals and stuff in the game, and I was like, it's sweet.
Yeah, I definitely don't regret buying that, but man, I really wish it was longer. You know what I mean? And like I don't feel cheated because I thought the story was so good. You know what I mean? But like right now, I feel like I can play it again because I just feel like I'm not done with it yet. But I am. I completed the game.
Yeah.
The first game when I beat it, I loved it. But I was done. I watched the cutscenes, but I didn't feel like playing anymore.
See, and I kind of feel like this game was a little bit easier than the first one. I remember. I don't know if it's because there's not really. I mean, obviously since it's shorter, there's not as many boss battles. But I remember having more trouble in the first one. I don't know if it's because controls were different or what. But I remember like on Rex's Prime, fighting that one like tiny Jedi guy.
Kaz and Paratus or something.
Yeah, It's like trying to fight him, and I just had a heck of a time trying to kill him.
I think a little bit of that is the camera during the boss battles in the first game. We just kind of went really wide, and things got really small. And in this game, they really emphasized the angles on boss battles, especially during the Gorog.
Like this game, the developer, it's easier for the right reasons. Like it's easier because the developers took more time, I think, on the problems that made the first game hard, which were hard for the wrong reasons. They're hard because of technicalities, the camera angle, stuff like that. It pissed people off. This game, it's a little easier because the game is, it's made the way it should be. Nice. The camera angles are better. The targeting system for for when you target, objects or people to use the force on them, it's it's a lot smarter than it was in the first game.
I don't know. I had problems when I was targeting things. There'd be like an enemy, like one of the robots with the shields, and like I'd be trying to target. Well, no, I'd be trying to target like something to throw at him, but instead of targeting it was targeting my enemies instead.
Yeah.
And like I had trouble trying to get it to switch over. And
like they said that's one of the things they were trying to fix, and I honestly felt like it kind of just seemed like it was the same from the first game. And I didn't know I necessarily have a problem. We just had to get used to that method of targeting. You just look in the right direction.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that.
Yeah, like, and we're not going over the story completely yet, but like going through the gameplay, throughout the gameplay, like, there's moments of what are they? There's when you free fall in the air. Escape for your life moments. They were money. They were all cool. Yeah, I mean, like. I
mean, that's how pretty much you start off the game.
Yeah.
I mean, except for the little training room.
Yeah.
You just jump out and you're.
I read some review from some idiot online talking about how it was kind of overused. I didn't feel that way at all. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, every time it happened,
I thought it was
I would gladly jump out a window.
It only happened twice. Oh no, I guess it happened three times.
Three times. Basically, the people out there maybe who haven't played that part of the game yet. Like there are moments where you're just falling straight down. You control Starkiller left, right, up, and down.
And you have your force lightning and your force push that you can use.
Yeah, and you're falling. Okay, it reminds me of this. At the very end of the first game, after Juno and Starkiller, they kiss on the Rogue Shadow, and he says, "Goodbye, Juno." And he falls back. He falls, and he's falling through the Death Star. All the pipes.
Past the pipes and the
wires.
And,
that's what it's like. And there's one point where he.
But you actually control it.
Yeah.
It's not just like a cutscene. Yeah.
There's one part where in a cutscene where he had to use a force to these pipes that are in the way as he was falling. He had to use a force to blow through them. If you would, but he used a force to just blow through these pipes. You have to do that a bunch. You can grab. You can grab TIE fighters. You can. There's rocks. There's pipes. There's tons of crap in the way, and it's just awesome. Really.
The only thing I think about whenever I see those that is in any way negative is that Palpatine died by just being thrown down something.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have landed? I mean,
because the Death Star blew up anyways.
That's true.
Maybe he did live.
He just see land and he's like, I'm gonna get back up there, and then it blows up.
He's like, climb back up.
What?
No.
I mean, I guess you can say that his lightning, as it was shocking the electronics around him, it blew up and all that.
But didn't he toss him down a reactor?
I don't think it was a reactor. Why would you put your throne room right above the reactor?
I don't know what it was.
Giant open,
I wouldn't put it next to a big old thing
so it could
throw me down.
I mean, does it need to be open?
I'll put a bar or some kind of counter.
Just put some 2x4s over the hole or something,
Some newspaper.
It's like Vader might throw me down this. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying, because in the Clone Wars micro series, I mean, I love the new I love the new the new TV series on Cartoon Network. That's really awesome. But the other mini one that came out in 2004 or 5ish.
Yeah.
There's a part where Count Dooku's talking to Ventress. Yeah, his apprentice, his secret apprentice. Yeah. He's not really secret. I guess.
You talking about when he floats?
Yeah, he floats down talking to her. Like, why didn't Palpatine just do that? Like, oh crap! And I'm falling, and he uses the Force to slow himself down.
Stop.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Mace Windu does it.
It wasn't like he was Superman flying. It was just like a slow float.
Mace Windu does it.
Yeah, I think Mace Windu does it actually when he's falling from the sky. Yeah.
When?
It's you haven't watched it, dude. It's like it's a clone.
I mean,
it's a cartoon.
It's a matter of using
It's
telekinesis.
like it's one of the guy who did Samurai Jack.
Mace Windu should have freaking did it when he got tossed out that window.
He got his hand cut off.
Yeah, he was struck by lightning.
Yeah, he's struck by lightning. Yeah, I think he was actually to the point of no return because he stopped screaming. You know what I mean?
He was already dead there, and then he got tossed out the window.
Kind of, yeah.
It was like and, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Samuel Jackson.
Oh, at least he didn't get shot in the back with a blaster.
But, I mean, even still. If Palpatine had caught himself and he was floating back up, he still died because it blew up later.
Or did he die? He's remember he came back too.
He died and came back to life.
I thought his spirit floated.
Yeah, but his spirit floated, but his body died.
Died and came back to life.
Yeah, he died.
Whatever.
One of his clones, was it?
That's a matter of an actual person coming back. It's not a clone. I mean, it is a clone, but it's spirit transfer.
Yes. Okay, but this we don't think. It hasn't been said yet. This isn't spirit transfer, we don't think.
No, as of right now, we're led to believe that this is either the actual Starkiller or just a clone. With
very good clone.
memories.
Yeah, very good clone with his memories. And what's good to say right now, like, I don't think I guess I would be disappointed if they didn't make a third one. Which, you know, I'm
well,
sure...
considering the ending, if they don't make a third one...
we don't find out. We do not find out, really, if Starkiller is a clone or not. You know?
No.
That's one of the important plots.
He got some big